Hello there Year 5s, it's Mr. Conway here. Now for today's how-to guide, I'm going to be showing you an example of how to multiply mixed numbers by integers. Okay, so it's going to be one modelled example. So first of all, this is the calculation we're going to be exploring today. The calculation is 3 4/5 multiplied by 4 equals something, okay? So we're just going to look at some of the vocabulary. Mixed numbers, 3 4/5, this is our mixed number. It's a mixed number because we've got a whole number, an integer, and a fraction. So when you see a whole number and a fraction together like this, it's a mixed number because we've got a mixture of two. And by integers, remember integers just means a whole number now. Integer here today is going to be 4, it's what we're multiplying by. So to step 1 for solving a calculation like this is quite simply to partition our mixed numbers. Because remember it's mixed because we've got a whole number, an integer and a fraction. We want to separate these for now. So I'm just going to do a little arrow here and a little arrow here. I'm going to have the 3 and I'm going to have 4/5. Now to each of these parts I need to multiply these by 4, okay? So first of all, I'll start with my whole number, and I'm simply going to write 3 multiplied by 4 equals, I'm sure you've done it in your heads already, 12. So that's one part of my partition done. So I've got one done. Now I've finished with my integer, my whole number here. I'm going to look at my fraction. My fraction here is 4/5. And I'm going to do this a little bit in red actually, just to help us to keep it separate. 4/5. 4/5 multiplied by 4. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Now you'll notice in the previous video where we've multiplied non-unit fractions, which this is, by an integer, but I was going to quickly do another demonstration for you. To first of all, looking at this fraction, best thing to do is draw a bar model. Bar models are fantastic for working with fractions. So here's my bar. How many parts make the whole? It's 5 because 5 is my denominator. How many parts do I need to shade in? 4. 4 of the parts I need to shade in because 4 is my numerator. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, how many lots of 4/5 do I need? 4 lots of 4/5. 4/5 multiplied by 4. So I've got 1 there. Draw another bar underneath. I'm going to shade in 4 again. I've now got 2 lots. I've now got 3 lots. And here we are with my 4th and final lot. Now I've multiplied that by 4, 4/5. I need to work out what this total is. What is the value of this? Well, I know I've got 5 parts to make the whole, so my denominator will still be 5. Well, what's my numerator going to be? Well, let's count our numerators here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I've got 16/5. So I'm going to write that here, 16/5. Now, with my whole number and my fraction, I'm going to bring these together. So I'm going to bring them together. I'm going to put an arrow here, an arrow there. And it's going to give me an answer of 12 wholes and 16/5. This is an answer, but the answer, we're only halfway really. What do you notice about this mixed number? There's something slightly odd about this mixed number. 12 wholes and 16/5. Yeah, that's right. If you look at our fraction, we've got an improper fraction. I'm just going to draw a little bubble around it. We've got 16/5. So our numerator is way greater than our denominator. So we need to change this improper fraction into a mixed number now. That's our next step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little squiggly line here. And I'm going to bring this fraction, this improper fraction, I'm going to write it down here now. So I've got 16/5. Now with my 16/5, like I said, I need to make this into a mixed number because then it will make a real mix. It will make for my actual answer, I'll get a correct calculation then. So for 16/5, well, how do I make this into a mixed number now? Again, as you know with fractions, bar model is absolutely the way forward. So with my bar models, I'm going to draw my bar. How many parts make the whole? Well, it's 5 because 5 is still my denominator. And this time I need to shade in 16. Right then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I better draw another bar. Put my parts in. So I've got 5 there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I better draw another bar because I need to get all the way to 16. So I've got 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh my gosh, I'm so close. I better draw another bag, so I actually need to get to 16. 5, 10, 15, 16. So there we are. But what is my mixed number here? Well, how many whole bars have I got shaded in? I've got 1 whole bar, 2 whole bars, 3 whole bars shaded in. And what do I have left over? Well, I've got 1 shaded in out of 5. So that's 1/5. So 16/5 as a mixed number is 3 and 1/5. So if I now go back to this mixed number, and draw a little arrow going down, my 12 will stay the same still. And I'm going to move this fraction, this mixed number, I'm going to bring this up now. So it's going to be 12 plus 3 and 1/5. And all I would do here is add my whole numbers together and my fraction can stay the same. So this would equal 15, because 12 plus 3 is 15, and 1/5. And that's my answer. 3 and 4/5 multiplied by 4 is 15 and 1/5. Now then, if you look at my big piece of paper, you notice, gosh, Mr. Conway, you've done a lot of calculations there. Well, actually, it's just several steps. That's all I've done. But the maths itself is very, very simple. You've only done 3 multiplied by 4 here. You've only done 4 multiplied by 4 here to get my 16. And you've only done 16 divided by 5 to get 3 and 1/5. So the calculation is very simple. It's just the concept that we're working on today, okay, Year 5s? So it's now over to you. Have a go at multiplying mixed numbers by an integer. Use a similar method or use a method that works for you. Remember, math is all about spotting patterns, and I hope throughout this little how-to guide you've seen a few patterns that you think, Mr. Conway, I can see what's going on there. Right then, Year 5s, enjoy your mixed number work, and I will see you in another video.